In basic economics, the important concepts are monopolies, network effects from APIs, supply and demand, cumulative advantage, moats, lock-in, marginal costs, consumer surplus, producer surplus, price discrimination, pricing power, viral networking, viral adoption, economies of scale, etc. Modern microeconomics. And you can get this stuff from an economics textbook. You can get it by reading Peter Thiel's famous 0 to 1. You can get it by reading up on various mental models. You can read up complex systems and complexity theory. You can read Andrew Chen's blog. Some of the better VCs will write about it, but they'll do it in a very subtle way because they don't even want to say we're building natural monopolies. But the truth is that most of the valuable businesses are natural monopolies. Is this bad for society? It could be. We're not talking about anti-competitive or illegal behavior. But the thing to realize is that the technology industry is extremely dynamic. Even these companies that look like they have natural monopolies due to network effects transfer enormous benefit to the consumer and tend to get defeated when the next platform comes along and there's a platform shift. MySpace gets displaced by Facebook. Facebook gets displaced a little bit by Instagram. Google displaced Microsoft from its perch position. Microsoft used to own the start button on Windows. Now you start on Google or on Google Chrome, or you start on Apple. Look at how Apple came back to beat the Wintel empire. The technology industry is very dynamic. Just because there's a series of network effect monopolies doesn't mean that those monopolies win forever, but they can win for a decade or two, which is large enough to harvest a lot of profits. You want to avoid rent seeking and regulatory capture. Regulatory capture is something old world companies do. They work with lobbyists to get regulators to lock them in. Rent seeking is when you're parking yourself in the way and you're a toll taker and you're not innovating at all. This is a highly innovative industry. Companies that manage to capture a great position but aren't innovating will eventually get displaced. The best companies are run by founders who are extremely paranoid. One other place to learn this stuff is through Ben Thompson's newsletter, Stratechery. Ben writes about this stuff for $10 a month, and he's one of the best commentators in the tech industry and is an MBA level education reading this stuff.